often identified through their work at high school conference and Philgrad. A lot of their work is often behind the scenes. How do you plan to bring the presence of education to the general body in times between these events?
Thank you, Sid, for that question. And yes, I do agree that I feel like the general body doesn't know too much about all the planning that in your role as education that you have put in to these events. And I know that SOAR board also, their planning isn't as present to GBMers. And I feel like it is important that in GBM reports, not only do we advertise that these events exist and talk about them, but I think it's also important that we, maybe not the whole report, but share a little bit about why we're having this event, what our passion is. And through that, we are showing how we care about our fellow Filipino peers, and that through these events, we are putting in that work. It is shown through the passion that we have and how we talk about our efforts for these events. So, thank you.
Ready for the next one?
Yes.
With such big events like HSC and Philgrad, the planning process can often feel incredibly personal. This is the first year that this is a co-chair position. How do you plan on implementing the ideas that you have discussed in your speech while still collaborating and taking into consideration the ideas of your co?
Thank you, Sid, for that question. As I know that HSC and Philgrad will require a lot of planning, I am confident that my co also has brilliant ideas that I would be happy to listen to as well as collaborate with. And I do know that there may be conflict in maybe what we want to do logistics-wise and just overall the message we want to bring to these events. But I am confident that I will be able to communicate with my co and maintain a positive relationship with them so that we may create a good event that combines both of our ideas and our passion. And could you repeat the question again?
How do you plan on implementing the ideas that you have discussed in your speech while still collaborating and taking into consideration the ideas of your co?
Okay, so once again, as I said, I want to make sure that I am communicating with my co and that we are constantly having this open relationship, also with SOAR board as well and other members of the board. I think it's important that having that relationship where we can openly share our ideas without feeling judged or that our ideas don't matter, our voices don't matter. I think it's important that we talk about those ideas we have for those events or just anything in general. It's important that we are open to receiving input on our own ideas as well as giving advice to other people's ideas. And with those two events in particular, I already know that I have my ideas in my head. I didn't talk about them too much in the speech because they're not final or anything, but I know that I'm willing to adapt to whatever ideas my co has, and I am looking forward to collaborating with them because I know that working with others always results, well, not always, but most of the time results in a project that is so much more beautiful and diverse than if you were working alone. Because when there's diversity in the minds that are working together to create, there is always a new result that you wouldn't expect from just that one person. So I think that's important, and I will communicate and make sure that we both collaborate in regards to those events.
Are you ready for your last question? One of your major responsibilities is chairing the SOAR board. There has been a tendency in the past for people that sign up for SOAR to be included in a plethora of other commitments. How do you plan on ensuring that your SOAR board meets its full potential while also acknowledging the mental and physical health of your members?
So as a member on SOAR board currently, as one of their peer mentors, I definitely understand and agree that everybody on board has other commitments, as most of the people on our board tend to be very academically driven and they are always motivated to succeed with their courses as well as their other organizations or clubs or sports they're involved in. And I understand personally that having so many responsibilities can be mentally draining sometimes. And I think it's important that as a board, as for SOAR board and as well as executive board, this is applicable, that we all understand and are open to these struggles, and we listen to our fellow board members when they may feel overwhelmed. And I think it's important that we support them, because while their responsibilities are mostly singular to them, their external responsibilities, SOAR board is a board. We should be united and able to support each other when times may get rough or when we may feel overwhelmed and stressed. And a quick personal anecdote I would share is that I noticed that many SOAR meetings at the end, when we do our temperature checks, that is the time where everyone just is freely open and they talk about whether it be like personal life or school. They release that stress, and that having that space where we can openly talk about our personal lives outside of SOAR and academics, it allows us to indirectly and directly support each other. And by having that support, that mental stability, emotional stability, through being supportive of one another, I believe that SOAR board can reach its fullest potential, and it will reach its fullest potential if its board members are like at peace with themselves. And I will make sure that I uphold everybody on my board in the future, and that I extend not only my support to my board members, but to GBMers who attend any of our SOAR sessions or workshops, as well as to any general body members of AB Samahan, because I feel like the support that you give in regards to anything people are dealing with, just showing that you are a safe place for them, showing that you care and that you have that support, that is important to giving anybody the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. And that has definitely been a large part of the reason why I have stayed with AB Samahan, because I feel like I have had that support throughout this whole year. Even though, as many of you may know, I'm not really involved in Samahan. You might only know me from being in SOAR, but even though I haven't been around that much over this whole year, I feel like I have had that support, and I look forward to giving that support back to new GBMers next year.